Welcome to Cody in the Cinema. Today I'm discussing 3 Criterion Collection films that have stuck with me in some kind of an emotional way, not necessarily because I'm completely in love with everything about the movie, not necessarily because I remember each piece of the movie. In fact, one of these selections I haven't watched in many years, but there's something about the plot or the characters or the cinematography, whatever it is, that just sticks around in my memory. And I think the fact that all 3 of these kind of have a drifter element do that as well. They're just emotional in a unique and kind of special way. So I wanted to share those with you in this video. The first of these is from a director who I really liked, directed by John Ford. He did that documentary, Pete Bogdanovich. This is The Last Picture Show. And what could be more telling than, I believe his name is, Ben Johnson, who was, I think he got a supporting actor nod for this, even though he was in a very small portion, of course, in the great film Shane, as Shane's young adversary here in a dying western town amongst multiple teenagers who are drifting around with no purpose, direction, or real sense of anything, with this gorgeously shot black and white film, especially if you get the 4K. It's a big cast: Sybil Shepherd, Timothy Bottoms, Jeff Bridges, and there's a little road trip in here that's kind of nice, but the whole time you're just kind of waiting for something bad to happen. And there's a particular scene toward the end that put me at such a loss for words, and I just felt such a confusion toward the purpose of life, our own existence. And I don't know exactly why. It's not like the movie's beating you to death with how sad it is. It's just sort of death by a thousand cuts. It adds up, and it kind of, like I said, it gets under your skin, and it's really sort of depressing, but it's a beautiful movie. And if you like, for example, if you like Taxi Driver, it has Sybil Shepherd in it, which I said before, but I think it's one of those that kind of quietly sneaks up on you, and all of a sudden you realize you're really sad. I have not watched Texasville in this, so if you've watched Texasville, let me know. It is on the list of movies to see, because this is a 2-pack, but looks really good on the 4K. The first time I saw it was just on a DVD. Watched it again on the 4K, really liked it. Now, another film that sort of did this for me, and I've seen this film multiple times, and every time it just it disturbs me a little more and a little differently, maybe. The original intention of this film was probably to sort of mess with people's heads a little bit, but not. I don't ever think this film has been disrespectful to its people, to its actors with disabilities. This is called Freaks, and this is part of the Todd Browning slideshow shockers. I've seen The Mystic, which was okay, but Freaks is the real showcase here. And this is about a carnival of, different folks with disabilities, and someone tries to con one of the members through a shifty marriage. And just watching the way that she treats these people, and then watching what they have to do to kind of sort of avenge that, it doesn't make you feel good. Because, well, you know what, I didn't really mean to bring up The Last of Us Part 2, but I know that there's like that video game and that show, part of the purpose of that is to show that revenge or violence centered around revenge is like not a great idea. It can add up and weigh on you. I think Freaks does something similar, but in a way that you don't necessarily understand why while you're watching it, and then after you think about it, you're like, man, I feel bad for everyone involved in this. No one wins with this kind of hatred in the world. But at the same time, it's kind of an effective horror movie that I've never felt it was like disrespectful to the actors. If anything, I think it was like a really cool representation. But there are a lot of different ways you could look at Freaks. I've just found that over the years, every so often, I'll think about how sad the movie actually is. Despite, like I said, how you're supposed to feel maybe great about the revenge aspect of it, but it's just unsettling. It really is, and kind of a depressing movie, honestly. I like the Todd Browning pack a lot, by the way, like I just said. Like the inside of it, if you haven't ever checked it out, has this really simple, elegant red and yellow. And the booklet, I've read through the booklet before. It has some awesome essays in there. It talks a lot about the director and kind of where he came from. And I think it's one of those essays that's like truly worth reading. I read one of them, like I said, and it was pretty cool. It's been a little while since I've seen it. About time to put this back in, because I got this Was this 2023? Yeah, this was shortly before I started my channel. And Criterion's just had such a good run of films in the last few years that kind of inspired me to talk about them in the form of YouTube. Speaking of which, now this is a movie I'm just going to throw out there because I haven't seen it forever. And I specifically picked this one because I still remember how I felt in certain scenes, but I haven't seen it in so long that I don't remember all of the reasons why I feel this way. So I chose it specifically because of my unfamiliarity with it and strictly because of the emotional reaction I had, and sometimes I still think about some of just the way it made me feel. This is called La Strada, and this is one of Fellini's great films. I also own it. This was a DVD I got from FYE many years ago. I also own it in the Fellini pack, so the next time I watch it, I'll watch it on there. The back of the disc says that there has never been a face quite like that of Giulietta Massini. And her husband, Fellini, directs her in this film, La Strada. And so one of the characters is sold by her mother to a traveling strongman, and they join up with a circus, and there's a rivalry. And I just remember she gets treated like garbage. Like, it's not pleasant. And I wonder, because I remember how strong of an emotional reaction I had to the film at the time and how sad and powerful and moving it is. Fellini's good at that sort of thing, I mean, when he wants to be. And I just, it was like one of the moments that I really remember falling in love with Italian movies. And I think that that's why I haven't seen it again, because it was so touching at that time. But I just remember, even to this day, and I mean, I think I watched this film. It would have been 2010, or 2011, somewhere in there. And here we are in 2025, and I still remember that gut reaction. So for those of you that have seen it more recently than me or know the film a little bit better, you'll have to let me know your thoughts on La Strada. But I was looking through different films, and I pulled off The Last Picture Show, and I was like, I want to talk about The Last Picture Show. What are some other movies that gave me a similar feeling? And these two are ones that just kind of came to mind. So just some ideas there, some films I really think you should see. And definitely pick these up in your collection. Side note, the giant Fellini box is definitely worth having. If you don't have that, really good value there. But if you like the video today and you want to click the like button, help grow the channel, I would appreciate it. Always helps. Yeah, subscribe if you haven't. I cover different Criterion stuff on here all the time. And we'll see you next time. Cody in the Cinema.